You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Today we have joining us my very, very good friend and a good friend of CBT News, Mr. Don Hall, who's president and CEO of the Virginia Automobile Dealers Association. But then again, I don't have to tell you that because this guy is one of the leaders in our industry, and he really does such great work, he and his team, for auto dealers there in Virginia and really for the rest of the country. I mean, some of the things that you talk about, Don, and bring up, so many of the other ATAEs benefit from. So thank you for joining us once again.
Jim, it's my honor and privilege to be with you, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. Good to see you as always.
You as well, and there is so much to talk about. Before we jump in here, first and foremost, how was your annual conference there, and what were some of the big takeaways?
Jim, we had over 430 people there, which is a great turnout.
Yeah.
Though I will admit there should have been 1,400 people there. I think all dealers have a responsibility to support their trade associations and their annual meetings. If not, why not? As I say so often, even on this show, if your association is not doing what you want it to do, then get the person that's the right person to make sure you have meaningful meetings. We had some great speakers talking about the industry, where we're going, but also some human speakers that talked about our lives and who we are and what we are. And the purpose is to be able to be there with family and friends and sponsors and talk about our great industry. And it's all about the customer buying experience. And that's what we want to keep saying over and over again. Let's make sure customers have a great time buying cars here in Virginia.
That's right. That's right. And I'm sure the topic of EV came up not once, but many times. Talk to us about that. You guys recently went to the state and along with the governor and said, hey, maybe we need to dial back this CARB situation, right?
Jim, the fact is that our convention was the Attorney General of Virginia, Jason Miyares. Jason came down, he flew down to meet with our dealers to tell him of the decisions that were just made days earlier on the part of the administration through a legal opinion that he has now sent out, that Virginia, because of CARB adopting some new rules effective 1/1/25, that Virginia had never accepted those new rules, and the old rules would go away, meaning that Virginia, in his opinion, could drop out of CARB. Just to remind your viewers, those states that are under the California Air Resource Board, and there's a number of states. If I said it was 16, it's in that close to those numbers. Sure. It primarily is Virginia going north and then heading out west to include Colorado, I think New Mexico now, obviously California where it all started. California dictates what kind of cars folks will drive. There is no ability to modify or to pick and choose. You're under California, which still upsets many, many people in Virginia that California making decisions. The long and the short is this. We have, as do dealers nationwide, have lots of EVs on the ground. They're not selling. The fact of the matter is that people are beginning to turn and say, we really don't want government, whether it's the federal government or the state government, telling us what we can drive or not drive. Right. The reality is, Jim, we both have been in this business a long time. The federal government's been telling us what we could drive for a long time. Yeah. As we were young men long ago, no seat belts, no many other things in cars. That's right. And today, cars have all kinds of things mandated by the federal government. But the fact is, people are not ready to accept. We don't have the infrastructure in place. The average EV payment these days, as your viewers know, many of them know, is at least $700 a month. Oh, yeah. Plus insurance. In our state, we have personal property tax you have to pay as well. These are not inexpensive cars. And to expect people in the inner cities, people that make less money, it's not realistic to have a demand in place that you drive these cars. They're here to stay, and they should be. But they should be something that is adopted over many, many years, not in a few short years, and certainly not requiring a state like Virginia to sell X amount within 2026 model starting in late 25. Yeah. So we're glad, and I'm sure there'll be a court challenge, that we have successfully postponed this. We're still selling AVs. We'll still push them. Right. But we needed the time, and I think even the OEMs, they won't go on record to say this, but I think the OEMs are also equally as grateful that Virginia is one less state that they're going to be penalized for not hitting the numbers in. Yeah. Hey, let's switch gears a little bit. What's the sentiment of the dealers there in Virginia? Is business good? Are they concerned about things? We're in obviously a very heated
presidential election time right now, or for the campaigns and such. What's their mindset?
I think their mindset is really lots of philosophy. Remember, we're not far from Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
I have dealers that are right on the border of D.C. and Virginia.
Sure.
And politics obviously impacts us a lot. What happens in Washington, we tend to see before you see it in Atlanta, Georgia, as an example. We just do. I think the bigger thing these days is everybody, as they should be, is concerned about the price of vehicles and people's ability to make a car payment, for $600 a month, $700 a month, $800 a month. We are where we never want to be, and we can extend those terms. Yes, they go out to 10 years or 9 years. You will never have a positive equity situation. You're going to be upside down in that car forever if we get to that point. So in my language, long ago as a retail guy, dehorsing a customer, trading them out of that used car becomes very difficult when they're upside down to that degree.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think dealers are concerned. Certainly we came off of some great times during COVID that nobody expected to happen.
That's right.
And it's uniqueness about our industry, which is why you love this business and I love this business. But the fact of the matter is we're now reaching into a time where interest rates are up, cost of money is up.
Yeah.
We do have inflation going on.
Yeah.
And we've got problems. I think the next election will determine much without making any political statements here today. But I think it's critical that as car dealers that you vote, but more importantly, make sure you encourage and maybe even incentivize your people to go out and vote and their family members. Can't tell them who to vote for, but you sure as heck can tell them vote for people that are pro-business and pro our industry.
Yeah.
There'll be congressional elections going on, Senate elections going on, in some cases from your legislature, your state legislators going on, as well as the presidential. So we need to get more people engaged in voting because a lot of folks don't vote. And as a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, that upsets me.
Yeah.
People have died and fought for your right.
That's right.
And your right to vote and express yourself. Go out and vote.
That's right. Yeah, no question about it. I agree. Talk to me about some of the unfinished business that you're working on there before the end of the year. I mean, here we are now halfway through the year. What are some of the things on the to-do list?
I think a couple of things I'm doing right now, frankly, is Hyundai.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to get into that and talk about Hyundai.
Yeah, let's talk about that. That just hit the news. We reported on it. Automotive News reported on it. It looks like there's some things in the Hyundai franchise agreement that are against the rules, against the law, so to speak. Where does that stand? What's going on there?
First of all, let me just say this. There are outstanding individuals that work with manufacturers and work for manufacturers. There is. Their goals are different than the goals of a dealer or the goals that I have. Mm-hmm. We live in the communities. We're the ones that have to disseminate product. We're the ones that have to back up and take care of that product after the fact.
That's right.
And unfortunately, Hyundai, in their infinite wisdom, brought over a lot of folks, frankly, from Nissan and brought a lot of their mentality to Hyundai. And though I think they were well-intentioned, I had fired off a letter that their new agreement violated all kinds of things in Virginia law and was very specific in my letter to Hyundai. It was just amazing to me that Hyundai would just totally ignore the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia, as it were doing throughout the nation, because many of us have similar laws over the years that we've passed. I got back a long letter that basically made the comment at the end of the day is, well, we're only going to do this. We're only going to rescind that which we said because we're going to play by the laws in your state. Well, my comment is, really? Now, you didn't need 3 pages to tell me that. The fact is, as a manufacturer, whether you like it or not, you are obligated to live by the laws, as we are equally obligated
That's
to
right.
live by
That's
the
right. It
law.
works 2 ways.
And no matter what your contract says, each state has a provision that says, regardless of what the dealer just signed, that manufacturer must abide by the laws in which they are licensed to do business in.
Yep.
And Hyundai and Genesis is licensed in Virginia. And so they made one comment that I had to chuckle at when I saw it. And I was quoting Automotive News in this article you're talking about.
Yeah.
And the statement they made was, well, if you decide to sue us, then we're not going to go with item 1 and 2. which was them agreeing that the law said these various things. Well, I'm saying,
wow.
So if you're going to sue, you're not going to abide by the laws because we're going to sue.
That's crazy.
Well, obviously, we're not going to sue if you're abiding by the laws, Mr. Hyundai. At the same time, remember, you're not breaking my laws or the laws of the Virginia Auto Dealers Association.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You're breaking the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
That's right.
That's one issue. And I'll get to Amazon in a minute. Hyundai came back and said, all right, we're going to live by the laws, and that's what they are today. And I am grateful that they understand. We can litigate.
Sure.
We're ready. But it is smart. At the end of the day, my Hyundai dealers are partners of Hyundai manufacturing. We want to have a level playing field. We want to do what's best for customers who buy our cars. We know our communities. If we're your partner, treat us as such, and we should do the same, treat you as such. And we both have a right to expect that and deserve that. And I'm about making sure the dealers understand that principle as well.
Sure.
Amazon, the latest, greatest. Last week, Amazon. Now, for you dealers listening right now today, working in dealerships throughout the country, and you're saying, yeah, but I'm not Hyundai, so this doesn't concern me. The hell it doesn't.
Yeah, that's right.
It does concern you. Amazon has made it clear, and others have made it clear. Hyundai has made it clear. There are other OEMs coming.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%.
So they roll out with their big program. They had a press, big.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. Yeah, they went big time on the rollout.
Big announcement and so forth. And I've chatted with a number of my dealers. And obviously, dealers can't go on record as saying what they really feel. There is discrimination when you do that. I can go on record. I don't want to be a car dealer. I did when I was a young man. Today, I'm doing exactly what I want to do for the last 37 years at VADA.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't care whether I'm liked by Hyundai or any other OEM. It does not matter to me. What I care about is serving the dealers and making sure that our customers in Virginia are treated fairly through this process.
And this is why we love having Don Hall in, President and CEO of the Virginia Auto Dealers Association, fighting the good fight for dealers, as I said before, not just in Virginia, but all over the country. So, Don, thank you so much for joining us. The fantastic conversation that we had today. For dealers that are out there, listen to what Don's talking about, because it is so true. He tells it like it is, and this is something you need to pay attention to. So, Don, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.